You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, live call-in show. I am one of your hosts. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
I'm Wayne.
And we're a podcast about how we game, and on Thursday nights, it's about how you game, because it's your chance to call into the show, talk to us about what you've been up to gaming-wise. It's a holiday week, Rob.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah. I don't expect it to be a busy one tonight. I know these holiday weeks tend to be tougher.
Yeah.
I know we're low on folks, too. We got Wayne. Mike won't be in tonight.
Yeah, Mike's a little busy with some family stuff from what I understand, so that's all right. We can hold it down with three of us.
That's what I expect from most folks tonight.
Yeah.
That everyone's taking care of family stuff. Wayne, you too, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, or getting out of family stuff to do this, right?
Yeah. Getting in, getting out.
Getting in, get out, you know.
You're like, if I need to be your excuse to get out of the family stuff, I think I can do that for you.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah.
I got big shoulders. I'll be your guy.
I think at this point, people might be wanting to watch a show like this or call in or take part because they want to escape family. Because, well,
could be.
But, I mean, I love the holidays, right? I'm a huge Christmas guy. I love the winter holiday time. But at a certain point, you just get peopled out with regards to like family and stuff. You know, every now and then. So,
I will say, I find there's a commonality with gamers and the social piece of it, the social either anxieties or introvertedness. I don't think it's a stretch to say that I find that in the gaming community.
Yeah.
So I know that this time of the year can be more stressful, and I know for me too, it takes a lot of energy to be out there with family and with friends and doing stuff. And then all the stresses of doing all that stuff, usually either money-wise to pay for the events or the gifts and the food, and then the energy and time you spend in preparing it and emotions and hoping that everything goes. It's a lot of stress this time of year.
Yeah, so you're a people person. There's a lot of people in our hobby who are not people persons. Is that how you say it? People persons?
Purple people eaters.
Yeah. So I know some people are in this hobby just because they enjoy the camaraderie and stuff, but I know there's a fair number of people, even just in our little group here in Tampa, that openly, talk about their social anxiety coming to game days, even with people they know, or doing work parties or things like that. They try to avoid those kinds of things. So I wouldn't say I'm not a people person, but I'm definitely not nearly as a person as you are. I enjoy my time at home, just relaxing with just the family, as much as going out to a party or anything. So it
takes a lot of energy to do it this time of year, and I can understand wanting to step away.
Yeah,
and just kind of recharge.
Yeah, I'd say the example is my wife and I are like, we both love social interactions, but like when if you go out to a party or a Christmas party, my wife is burning her energy. So at the end of the night, I'm done, right? Whereas me, I'm like filling the tank. So it's like I love that stuff, but at some point it's over full, right? You can only fill a tank so much before you just like
just gotta
even someone like me who craves that social interaction and going out and doing things. At some point, I'm like, all right, I just want to go home.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Chester Wilson in the chat says it's the 4th day of Christmas. Hopefully, you'll get 4 calling birds.
Oh, okay.
Those things are, man. I don't got them.
Okay,
we'll accept 4. 4 is a good, nice, large number.
That would be good. Yeah.
Topics for the evening. We really didn't set anything up because we're just kind of, it is the holidays. We're
end of the year, busy, yeah. So
what I did want to talk about is any hauls that you've received, that we've received. Talk about the games that you've gotten and your hopes for them. Either these are games that you knew are good and you put on your list, or these are games that you desire, maybe haven't played yet and you have hopes for them. So hopefully you can call in, talk about those. We'll go ahead and open up the phone line now.
Yeah, might as well.
Because we're not going to have any deep topics for this evening. So phone line is open. 813-618-7099 is the number to call in. Our question to you is, what games did you receive over the holiday? Why? Right? Why did you choose those games, and what your hopes are for those games?
Yeah, we can talk about what you played as well. I know holiday being family time. If you played some new games or you got some old games to the table with family, let us know.
Here's my first haul game that I want to talk about, and that is Sushi Go spin some for dim sum. Make sure I get that right.
Yep. Say it right.
Woo! It's not 10 o'clock. Here's Sushi Go. Spin some for dim sum is a bigger box than I expected.
Oh, yeah.
Much bigger than I expected. I heard this one from the guys, from Rob and Wayne. They're the ones that told me about Spin Some for Dim Sum. I think this game made it to my wish list, I think, because of the joy that y'all shared, that you two shared, about how much fun you had playing this title. I was actually opposed to it, or not opposed, but
yeah, that's right.
I was not attracted to it at the beginning because of the size of the box. Like, one of the things that I liked about Sushi Go was the size of a tin.
Just a deck of
you
cards.
could take it to go in your pockets. This is not pocket sushi.
You can't put that lazy Susan in your pocket? What are you talking about? Come on.
But all the excitement that you guys talked about with Spin Some for Dim Sum, the laughter, the joy, I watched, and I think what really triggered my desire to pick up this game was one of my wargaming channels that I follow. Marco is his name. He's a war gamer, and he has a family. He played it and he loved it, and so he did a review on it.
Nice. So
even if my wargaming buddies if they like it, then it's got to be good.
Yeah.
There's got to be something here for Sushi Go Spin Some for Dim Sum.
Yep. Yeah, we've talked it up. I mean, we played it at one of the game days this year, and I think Wayne and I probably played about 6 games of it. We kept running different people in and out. People would sit down and play it once or twice, and it's quick, it's snappy. It's more than, I agree with you that I like the Sushi Go, the original, just because it is a deck of cards, basically. You can just take it pretty much anywhere. Once you learn how to score it, you can pretty much score most of it in your head. So, I mean, it's pretty quick and easy to use. I was telling you before, I was a little disappointed that Tom from the Dice Tower kind of poo-pooed on this version, saying that this was his least favorite Sushi Go product. But I think quite the opposite. I think as far as a game, I think I like it better than the original Sushi Go. Sushi Go Party, I think I probably would still put ahead of it, just because Sushi Go Party added so much more variety, so many more cards, different mechanisms or different ways to set, collect, and do things like that. So I think Sushi Go Party is probably my favorite, which is just an even bigger deck of cards, basically. But I would put this one probably next in line. This one being a light family weight. Play this with anybody. You can really play this with small kids. Sushi Go, you kind of have to have some idea, because there are different things, different ways to collect the different sets of cards. And so I think Sushi Go is probably slightly more complicated than Spin Some for Dim Sum. I think Spin Some for Dim Sum's pretty straightforward, pretty light. So, but I like it a lot.
I would agree. And I played it. We played it a bunch at the game days, and then I played it at Thanksgiving a bunch. Yeah. This is one of the games I hit the table with my 7-year-old niece, my 9-year-old son, my wife, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and I. We played 6-player. We played like 3 or 4 times. The kids got it. They grokked it right away. The toy factor of the little squishy thing, and just for the inexpensiveness of the game, that little lazy Susan mechanism, that the little plastic way it clicks, is actually surprisingly like decent quality, I would say. Like,
I'm trying to get in here. Because I want to see. I haven't opened it yet. I want to see this. Yeah. Here, I'm going to slide this stuff out of the way just a bit.
Yeah, we played.
Robert and I were in the middle of a game of Star Wars, the deck building game.
Yep, Star Wars, deck builder, I think. Yep. This was Carlos's first play. He had read up on the rules a couple different times and never got to play it. So I got over here just a little early tonight, and we were in mid-game in our first game of it. So
I want to see this lazy Susan you guys are talking
it's pretty
about.
Nice. So I mean, for me, Rob, I agree with you. I think Sushi Go Party is the best of all of them. Yeah. I think this slots in next for me because of the toy factor, the ease and quickness of play. You know, we played 6, 7, 8 games in like and not even an hour. We played this 3 or 4 times at Thanksgiving with kids, and we're done in like 30 minutes with 2, 3 games.
My God, the stickers.
Yeah,
and then I think Sushi Go has a spot because it is travelable. Like that you throw in your suitcase and you can go anywhere with it. But so they all have of those 3. Those are the best. I mean, the dice game isn't so good, and the other ones are So.
All right, so I'm trying to get these stickers up. This is a pain.
Yeah,
what is up with these stickers?
Yeah, I bought my son Villainous for the new Star Wars Villainous for Christmas, and so they had those same kind of stickers on there. He was afraid to peel them off. He was like, "Oh, is it going to leave stuff all over?"
They do come off pretty well, but
Yeah,
they're a
yeah.
pain. But I just usually slice them and just leave them. But I do like that it's saving plastic. There's really no reason to shrink wrap all these stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So he's almost.
I'm
there. He's got
noticing
3
a
of the 4.
lot more product, and not just gaming wise, a lot more product in general is coming wrapped in paper.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was one of the kids' toys we bought. I believe it had to do with like the little peoples, that for the baby. And instead of everything being wrapped in plastic, all the individual stuff was wrapped in like tissue paper. Oh, here we go. Ooh, look at the
Styrofoam in there.
styrofoam
Yeah.
holding that. Did you keep this, Wayne?
I think I did.
Okay, so we keep retain that. I guess we have a deck of cards there.
Yeah, the
so-
cards are about the lamest of the quality.
Yeah,
of the
they are
cards
low
the
quality.
best,
They're really thin and flimsy.
This is the hot squishy bun.
Squishy.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that squishy.
Rob's nickname in college.
Yeah, squishy buns. Yeah. Kids are either throwing it at each other or they're just they're squishing it, playing with it.
Let's get this into the camera here.
The one that my
Squish.
7-year-old niece just hated anytime that was taken from her.
Oh,
Like she didn't play to win. She played to get the squishy bun.
Yep.
It is very soft.
Yeah.
It is nice.
It is very soft.
So when you get it, and you probably sit there and use it. Or I know I sit there and kind of use it as a
Stress ball.
stress ball while I have it until I have to give it.
Now,
to
if you
somebody
look at
else.
look at
So,
the bottom of that, Carlos. The bottom of that star you just put on the table there. No,
the bottom of the other.
on the
It's,
table.
oh yeah, that.
Oh,
It's got grippies
got a
on
nice
it. So,
grip thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like the bottom
so it
side of a
doesn't-
mouse
so when you're
pad.
spinning the
So it
lazy
won't
Susan, the whole
slide.
thing doesn't slide.
I was thinking about Roz last week when we talked to Mahir,
Mahir.
and I'm wondering how they're going to create the mechanism for his game, his lazy Susan, which isn't so lazy because that thing is spinning like crazy.
All kinds of stuff spinning on that thing. Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to learn something from this mechanism here. Oh, I see the clack you're talking about, Wayne.
Yeah. So that's the.
I see
It's
the
in there.
pressure plates.
So set it down and turn it now. So it's surprisingly kind of satisfying the way it'll click in to position. Hold on, yours isn't clicking. Is it?
Am I getting this
Can't
wrong?
tell. Is it?
It's kind of clicking. I can see it.
Yeah.
But like when you spin it, it won't just spin. It really you have to like really.
I
push
hear it.
hard.
Yeah.
Let me get the mic. Oh, never mind. Can't move the mic that low.
All the way over there.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah, but if you do it kind of slow, it'll kind of you can see where the clicks are because each you want it to be in front of each person's marker. So
And that's what's nice is I was wondering, with the way you sit at the table, how are you going to figure out? It's almost like playing spin the bottle.
No.
Is it going to point at you?
No, they give you a little
they give you these markers,
colored markers. Yep.
that have your color, and you're going to place them depending on the number of players, and that's going to indicate where you pull from.
Yep.
And then you've got these large menus.
That tells
And
you all
they're-
the scoring right there.
It's all the scoring.
It's not quite thick cardboard, but it is definitely card stock.
It's not paper. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So this is a good size. And this is where you're going to place your ingredients around the perimeter of this board.
Yep.
You can tell because of these slots that you have here, the menu themselves, you can see the semicircles.
Yep.
They kind of show you indicate where to place your ingredients.
Game ends when everybody's filled that last ingredient spot. So you're taking equal number of turns. You're going around. You grab a thing each time, and you slot it onto your board. And it doesn't
Watch
matter.
your mouth. What'd you call me?
Slot. Yeah. Slot it on your board, and it doesn't matter where you put it. But when you fill that last space, that's everybody's last turn.
How do I put this back? I don't even know anymore.
You messed it up.
I'm going to go with that.
You basically do that. Yep.
I'm gonna go with that. All right, so there's a preview there, folks, of Spin Some for Dim Sum, Sushi Go
There you go. Yep.
by Game Right. I like Game Right, I really do. And the bun was in one of the. I had a comment in there. Did you see that comment,
I got
Wayne?
it. Yep. Pablo said Steam Up, similar game with slightly more mechanisms and
Yeah.
complexity. I've
Yep,
seen
yep.
that. Yep.
I think Rob, you played that one.
I didn't play it. No,
It was
I
a
haven't played
Kickstarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter. It was super popular. I know somebody in our group. I want to say Rachel got it and did not love it. I know the reviews of it weren't great. I think she ended up selling it a couple weeks after she got it. So, yeah. I know Tom didn't like it at all. He was really disappointed because he loved that toy factor. He loved the whole dim sum idea.
Wasn't it that the Kickstarter version had like actual like little like actual sushi or dumpling miniatures versus like just like the wood bits or something? And
Something like that. Yeah.
So cool.
All right, Wayne. Anyone for you, or do I keep going? Did you get Against Christmas?
I did. I got Skull Hollow, which I'm looking forward to playing with my
nice.
kids.
Yeah,
I know you guys both like it. Yep.
Wait to hear your review of that once you get a chance to play it.
And,
yeah.
Yep. And then I got both expansions to the Quaxquil Limburg, which is good.
Nice.
Herb Witch.
And something, I forget the other one now off the top of my head.
I don't think I have both.
Yeah, there's two.
There's
So
two.
I got-
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
I have to look that up. But then my kid got 2 games. He got Museum Suspects. They played that on the Dice Tower a while back. It's kind of like a Clue-ish type deduction thing. You have a grid of characters and you're trying to figure out who's the museum thief, whatever. And then we got the toy game of the holiday was Beat the 8 Ball.
Oh yeah.
You have like a little cone and you're spinning 8 ball down it, and the 8 ball is going down the bottom of the thing, and it's going to shoot out the Alchemist is the second expansion. Michelle, thank you, Michelle. There we go.
There you go. Yep.
There you go. Alchemist. Yeah, I got both of those. So Beat the 8 Ball. There's 4 tracks, and the 8 ball is going down the middle, and you have to try to time it to get your marble before the 8 ball. And if you go too early, you don't score as much points. You want to get down and just beat the 8 ball, because that's how you score points. But if you get after it, you lose points. And so that was the toy factor. We played
Dexterity.
Yeah, it's like a dexterity. It's like one of those games that's going to be out in that hallway at Dice Tower East, where it's all the dexterity games. Another game that they played on the Dice Towers. Actually, what's funny is when I went to add it to my BGA Board Game Geek account, the original came out in like the 70s. So it's just basically coming back out again, kind of done up. But that's been fun. We played that a bunch the last couple of days. It's definitely the kind of game you need 3 or 4. It really is best at the 4 count. But we played that a bunch, and then Museum Suspects, and then when it comes back around, I'll have another Draftosaurus horror story.
Okay.
All right.
All right. My next game from the Christmas haul. I was really excited about this one. There's the camera.
Yeah.
Freelancers, a crossroads a Crossroads game by Plaid Hat Games. Plaid Hat started Crossroads with Dead of Winter.
Dead of Winter, that's right. Yep. And then Forgotten Waters. Now Freelancers.
And now Freelancers.
Actually, there was another one in
there
that
was
system.
one more.
It was a space one that really, really was bad. What was the name of that one? That one came and went and got panned pretty quick. I forget what that one was. Somebody will remind us probably, but yeah.
So this one is pretty much Forgotten Waters on land.
Okay.
And it's not quite fantasy. Everything that I've seen. So this one I have not played, but I have watched reviews.
You're going to unshrink it right here.
Oh, right here,
Yeah.
right on the channel.
That whole conversation about unshrinked, unplayed games.
That's how I live.
Yeah.
That's the way I live. I like how Skull Hollow, you jump on an appendage of the big bad,
yeah.
and I've never played it, but it sounds cool. Rob and I have played.
Yeah.
It is cool.
It is pretty neat.
It is very narrative, very thematic that way. If you ever grew up playing any of the old video games where there's usually like a big bad.
Shadow of the Colossus was one where on PlayStation you had to jump on the guy and climb up him and find his weak points, and
or even like the shooters that we used to play. I think Time Attack. I can't remember the name of the one that they had at the arcade, where they would have a bad guy. He's like a strong bad guy, and they had different like you got to target this, and then you have to target this, and then you got to hit this before you can kill it.
yeah.
Is the line really open? Yes, line is open.
Somebody tried to call.
Let's see here. 813-618-7099. Yes, says somebody did.
Did we miss a call?
All right, hang on. Let me unplug, replug.
Technical difficulties.
And we'll put the volume up there, and you can try again, Ron. You'll be our tester. So it should go.
It didn't. Metal Gear Solid, or one of the Metal Gear games had another one too, where you're jumping on the appendages of the big robot thing or whatever.
Right, and you're or there's something where you're having to target certain body parts to be able to disarm or kill the beast in a certain way. That's what it reminds me of, that kind of feeling.
Yeah. I know Attack on Titan, a more recent anime kind of thing where it's got the big monsters and you're climbing up them.
Okay, I figured it out, Ron. Try it again.
What happened? Yeah. Do not disturb.
I had to push a button to turn that off. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. You got
There's
to
a button to
turn off
turn
the
it
do
off?
not disturb. Yeah.
You can't just look at it and say phone line's open.
you got to push the
It's
button.
like, hey Siri, phone line is open.
Tap the thing.
It did not work.
So back to Freelancers.
Freelancers. Let's see. We're gonna crack this bad boy open. And I'm sorry for you podcast listeners. This isn't as thrilling because you're not gonna hear me opening it. Let's see what's in this box. And camera above. Freelancers, you got a rule book. Not a very thick rule book, Robert. Not very thick at all.
Okay, not too horrible then. Oh, there's a ringer.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Ron Fraser from Atlanta.
Merry Christmas, Ron.
Merry Christmas.
How are things in Atlanta?
It's amazing. You know, actually cold, but like not like cold, just Atlanta cold, which is cold, definitely Florida cold.
Okay, yeah, kind of like Tampa cold. Right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely colder than Tampa cold.
Okay.
It was pretty chilly here
not
today.
Michigan cold. Wait, what is chilly?
I think we were mid-60s today. It's getting down in the 50s tonight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
my
but like people who don't live down here don't understand. Like sometimes 60s because it was
With the
rainy.
humidity
Yeah, it was just it's like that like biting cold. Yeah.
in your bones.
Okay.
Yeah, Ron's gonna laugh that off. Yeah.
You gotta, like, right. Like I grew up in New Orleans. I lived 20 years in Michigan. I lived in Atlanta. I'm kind of like, and I spent a lot of time in Toronto. You know, Anyway,
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I did 4 years in Alaska. That's cold.
Yeah. But that's not why I was calling.
You sure?
So, you know, I got a couple of games for Christmas. You know, one of which I bought myself. You know,
That's okay. It's allowed.
Well, you know, I bought Can't Stop for myself.
Nice.
Right, in the early Christmas gift. I've been playing a lot of that. Like, one of my close friends is a scoutmaster for a troop that is that's basically like gamer focused. And they do normal scout activities, but they're a venture crew.
Okay.
But they also do like tabletop gaming as you know their signature activity.
Cool.
And so I would go up to the game store and hang out with the adults, you know, the parents that are there while the kids are doing their thing. You know, the parents are kind of hanging out, and oftentimes they get in the games. And although my kids are not in the scout troop, and I'm basically a friend of the troop, I've donated stuff and all that, and I'm friends with the scout master and everything. So I get to play games.
Nice.
So, you know, play Can't Stop, you know, taught some other games, some other lighter games, of course. And today, all right, so I got Can't Stop, but I got UnMatched Brains and Brawn.
Okay.
That's
that
the
was
Squirrel
Spider-Man,
Girl
She-Hulk, and
one?
Nope, that's Spider-Man, She-Hulk, and Doctor Strange.
Copy that.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to playing that. Don't know how I'm going to store it since I got the storage solution that Restoration Games made. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah, you went in on that almost like baseball acrylic holders, but for the miniature and the cards of all the individual units in UnMatched at the time of its release.
Unfortunately.
At the time, right. Well, you needed to have actually two of them to fit all of them, or unless you were doubling up, which is what I did. If we doubled up, you were able to to fit everybody.
2 minis per box.
The T-Rex. Yeah, except for the T-Rex, of course. And so I was good. So now, I got to figure out a story. You know what I'm going to do. Guess I was going to leave it in the box. Because now I have too many, but this is, you know,
Well, I don't know if you're watching or if you're listening, but I'm busting out my copy of UnMatched to kind of give you an idea of what I ended up making, which I lost these files on my USB drive. So I don't know if I can make it again. But I made a case that fits inside
goodness.
of the original box size that holds, I think, like a dozen or 14 decks, and then they're minis, and the tokens I put in little baggies. So I was able to kind of consolidate, I think, 3 boxes into this one box using the laser cutter. But now I need to find the files.
Yeah, so you got 3 more boxes down there. You, do
They're
anything with
empty.
that? Oh, those are empty? Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Oh, that is definitely a Carlos thing.
Yeah.
Both the solution and the fact that
I
you
am the
lost
problem.
files.
The problem is me.
For sure.
So gentlemen, I played a game that I hadn't played in a long time, and the reason why I hadn't played that game in a long time is that I don't like it. It is considered a classic, quote unquote.
Okay.
Would you like to take the guess as to what that game is?
Catan.
I mean,
Give us a hint.
Give me a hint. It is a card-based game
Smash Up.
that is very much. Huh?
Smash Up. Dominion.
No. Munchkin.
Munchkin. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I hadn't played Munchkin in at least 15 years. Could have been 20, right?
I'm right there with you, and I own copies
So-
because of the fun I had with them 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I was like, okay. So my friend pulled it out, and I really wasn't feeling it. I mean, it was X-Men themed. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Like, I don't know these folks, except for, well, I kind of started to get to know these folks, but, it's like, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to go with the flow. I'm going to give this a try. I tried to get out of it because there were more parents than there were, available player boards.
Okay, good call.
But people are like, I don't want to play. I'm too tired. Blah blah blah. So I got, I'm like, well, I'm up here. I guess I'll play. 90 minutes plus, and we didn't finish the game.
Oh.
And we spoke to
So it hasn't gotten better. Like, I figured you said it was the X-Men version, so I thought, okay, so it must be a modern.
Yeah, maybe he liked it. A new twist
Maybe
on it.
they fixed it.
Streamlined some stuff. Yeah.
Then he said we didn't finish it. I'm like, no, they didn't fix it.
Over an hour and didn't finish. Yeah.
They did not. Yeah, they did not fix it. I don't know how this game has been around for this long. I know how, because there are people that, that's all they know is these Ameritrashy cutthroat games that take forever, like, House Ruling Phase 10 and Uno and,
Monopoly with all the house rules, so it never ends. They're okay with it. They're used to this.
Yeah. So, the only thing that I enjoyed about it was, number one, the people, right? Like, the people, the good crew, and I enjoyed the X-Men theme. I wish they would have divorced the Munchkin theming a little bit from it, because it was still like you still had a dungeon deck and a treasure deck. Whereas with a superhero game, like, that totally could have been a danger room, right? Like, but no, it's a dungeon deck. It's like, all right, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It had its place, and
yes.
it was in my, in my early 20s. When time didn't matter as much, when silliness was okay, it had its place. Oh no, look, I'm level 9. Oh, everybody attack Carlos and extend the game an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, the same thing happened. But, I'll just tell you a little funny anecdote. So one of the people when I got to that level 8, and I had just warned people at the table to not mess with me. I had a wandering monster, I had a level 14 monster, and a plus 10 bonus. monster level bonus, right? So I'm like, whoever messes with me is gonna get this, right? The next time that they have a combat. But so one other player gets up to level 8, and I know that this guy, he has to have a plan to get, to win the game, right? So okay, well, somebody's gotta get this party started. So I tried to play a death trap on him, basically. He had a card to cancel that. And then he turned around and played a trap on me that sprung the topmost trap on the discard pile. So I got the death trap, and of course I rolled the 1 and I died. So that's Munchkin, folks. That's Munchkin.
Yep. Yeah, now
But,
I haven't had much experience with Munchkin. That was one that I guess that was during kind of my gray period from when I was a kid and played all those, the mainstream games, and then the Munchkin period was kind of there when I didn't play games until Carlos introduced me to more modern games. So I think I'm happy that I missed out on the Munchkin. Yeah, Carlos just nodding his head. Yeah, I think so. It's I own a copy. I think I got a copy for free somewhere. Somebody was donating or giving away a copy, so I grabbed it because I was like, Munchkin, it's a classic, but I've actually never played it.
Don't.
There you go. Don't.
Yeah, it always usually ends with a kingmaker. Someone gets tired of it because it's going on too long, and
Someone who's usually at like level 2.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's kingmaker or something. Yeah, it has its place. But it is kind of, there are different versions. Like and some of them are somewhat better than others. Like the version of Munchkin I have is Cthulhu version, and there's a little bit more chaos there, so it does have a chance of ending faster than normal. But it is surprising that there hasn't been really any further development of the
Innovation.
game. Yeah, there's not much there.
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more development in the game, because it's like, if they could just tweak a couple of things, if they could just keep the game from not going to 90 minutes, right? Like, I could take a 45-minute Munchkin game, right? Like, if they can figure that out, like, then I'd play it again if I was in the right mood. Because I'm not into take that games in general, but,
It'd be bearable.
It's a theme that I enjoy. Yeah. Especially like this X-Men theme, I thought it was, I really liked it. But I have a friend, same friend that's a Scoutmaster, has a bunch of games that I am going to be digging into, maybe doing unboxings, doing reviews of, and I want to break out Lastlight and play it.
Nice.
With my group and give it the beans on it, I guess.
Awesome.
So you'll be hearing from me about Lastlight soon, because I'm hyped to play a full production version of it.
Good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So yeah, you really should try it out if you haven't.
Yeah, Wayne and I got to play it at Dice Tower East, and so we played through the same game together with a couple of people we didn't know, and we both had a good time. For a 4X-ish game in an hour and a half, it's a good time.
Yep.
So, Ron, I was on your channel listening to your latest podcast drop. You had an interview with Drew Madison.
Yes.
And he's
Yes.
a buddy, someone you met playing the wrestling game.
Yep, playing SuperShow. So I do a little bit of self-promotion here. So my YouTube channel is mainly role-playing games with some board game content. But, I decided that I would drop content on Sundays for SuperShow, the game, the wrestling card game that I'm into. And so I do a show called SuperShow Sunday, and so far it's only been interviews. Well, I did one vlog, but I'm interviewing different people in the community who have at differing levels of involvement, And I had a good time having a conversation with this guy. And if you're interested in like how the dynamics of the community works, that's a good one to listen to. Also, you can listen to the previous interview I did with Jonathan Few, who is the organizer for the Atlanta local play group. He was also one that facilitated the big national tournament that was hosted at Level Up here in early November. So, more of that coming. More RPG content coming on the YouTube channel. And more board game content coming on Instagram and a little bit on YouTube too. So keep an eye out, folks.
Keep it coming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Guys,
Talk to you next week, I hope.
Yeah, I hope. All right. Take it easy. Take care.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Cheers, Ron.
Phone lines open. 813-618-7099 is the number. We're talking about Christmas hauls, Christmas gifts. Ron,
Deck the holes.
Ron, yeah, you go. Hauls.
Halls. Yeah, there you go.
Ron was talking about buying his own gift for Christmas.
Yeah.
And, I was listening to, I think it was a reel or something. They were saying what we should do is just everyone just goes and buys your own present.
Yeah.
Everyone just goes, buy your own present.
Yeah.
And then you wrap it up. And then you all get around the Christmas tree that morning. And then you get to unwrap and you get to surprise everyone else with what you got
there
yourself.
It's a twist.
Right? So that, and then you can talk about why you got it, and how she says the night vision goggles that you've been watching reviews on YouTube for 3 months and why this is the best gift ever. Explain that.
Okay.
There's no limit to how much you want to spend because you're spending it on yourself.
Yeah.
Right? There's no pressure about getting it wrong or getting the right thing. Everybody just buy their own thing.
Okay.
It's not a terrible
I
idea.
can do that. That's interesting.
We're probably not that far off, at least in our family. It's like mostly for the kids, but I have an Amazon wish list. My wife has an Amazon wish list, like my in-laws do, and basically everything I got from Christmas was on my Amazon wish list. So it's like I kind of said this is what I want. Like, it was just like so it was good.
So I like the idea.
Yeah.
On my Amazon wish list was Freelancers. We were talking about Freelancers before Ron called in, kind of unboxing it a little bit here. We got the rule book. I was telling Rob, the rule book is very small. I read the digital version.
Okay.
There's not a lot of rules here. It's very much like what's the water one?
Oh, Forgotten
Waters.
Yeah.
Very similar.
That's small.
But I actually think easier.
Yeah.
Easier because there's no ocean map.
Okay.
So there are no tiles that you're placing out to kind of reveal the ocean as you go.
Not moving around a boat or anything.
No, you're moving around on land maps that have drawn. So you can see here's an example of a land map with kind of a drawn map with dots for progression.
Okay.
And you fill in the lines as you move. And as you progress, you're going to encounter different things on that adventure with that map.
Okay.
So it even seems a little more simplified in the mechanics piece of it. But I think it changes more than the Forgotten Waters, the character piece. So the character has now 2 pieces of paper that you pull from a pad that are each different, that are going to have like your race and class effectively, that you're going to put together to then create your character. So like it's your character is more dynamic than it was in Forgotten Waters, but they've simplified like the navigation piece of the game.
Does this have a audio narrative to it like Forgotten Waters did?
And my understanding is the narration, the reviews on narration are much better than Forgotten Waters.
Really?
Like the actors
All right.
that are being used and the way they narrate this game has really stepped it up. There's even at a point where, for example, there's certain adventures where you go to I think that one of them is what do you call these? Fortune tellers.
Okay.
And it gives you the option up front. Are you okay with cuss words or not? Like swear words.
All right.
so you can kind of
Tailor your
really get
experience.
into the
Yeah.
story if you want to get into the
Okay.
which I don't know what that would mean
Yeah.
to the game, but the option is there. So if it's a bunch of adults and they want to be okay with it. So I read through the digital version of the rules. Very simple read, very easy. I feel a lot more player interaction
Okay.
because you're going to be doing things to help each other out with each action you do. So what's cool is your character sheet has your skill levels, right? Every time you did an activity, you increased in a skill of some sort, whether it was hunting or whether it was swimming or ship sailing. Remember all these different skills we had?
Yeah.
And each time you level up in a skill, you get to add a bonus die. So everybody starts off with a D20 standard for your skill checks.
Okay.
But each rank of skill you go up, your bonus die increases, starting at D4, then D6, then D8, D10, D12. So each time you level up in that skill, you get to use a bigger die when you roll that with your D20 in order to pass the test.
The dice don't get me excited, but that sounds like a cool thing. So, yeah.
And then, of course, it's got the location book, which you're probably used to with the Forgotten Waters.
Forgotten Waters, yeah.
You're going to flip it open, and it's going to have different scenes. Each scene will have places for you to place your characters in order to trigger or activate.
Do different things,
Yep.
yeah.
And then here are the sheets, Rob, I was talking about. These are the sheets where you can see you put them together. So this would be like a Mouser warrior, right? And then you can flip into the book. Here's a goblin. Let's flip, and you put it together. A goblin friar, right? So you're going to have all these different characters you're going to build at the beginning of the game. They're going to have different ways that they play. And then, of course, the story cards and the treasure cards that are going to be in the game for you to acquire more treasure. The weapons are augmentable. I don't know if that's a word. You can augment the weapons. So when you draw equipment, sometimes it's going to be an item, a trinket, an armor, or it could be a weapon, or it can be an augment to a weapon that you attach to that weapon to make it even more cooler, which is not a word. I think it's just more cool.
Yeah.
So that is Freelancers, a Crossroads game by Plaid Hat. Came to me under the Christmas tree, and I am excited.
Diego recommends laminating the character sheets. So
Diego, you can print them online.
Use them over and over, or you can print extras.
You can print them online.
Oh, there you go. Either way,
If you
laminator,
laminate them, you don't
might
gotta
as well
print.
use it. Yeah.
The narrator is Chris Sabat. Help me out. Vegeta himself? Anybody know? Okay. Give me some context, Diego.
No help.
All right, Wayne, you were going to talk about Draftosaurus again.
Again. Although I do have a positive thing I could talk about too. But so I have one more positive and one more negative. So
Pick one and do it, and then I'll do another game, and then you can do the other.
All right, so Draftosaurus, right? So simple game, right? We know that we've Dragon Ball Z. So there's the
all right, that I missed that one.
Yep.
That was not the bandwagon I got on.
either. Yeah.
So my kid and I have been playing Draftosaurus a bunch. I took it to Thanksgiving. My 7-year-old niece absolutely loved the game, right? So for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, I'm like, we were thinking about what are we gonna get her? I said, well, she really loved that dinosaur game, Draftosaurus. So why don't we just buy her one of those? So we bought her that, and we were over there tonight for dinner, and she brought it. Was super excited, like. I own a copy. I brought the game. I'm gonna game, right? So my brother-in-law opens it up, and I see him. I'm sitting at the dining room table. He's over there unboxing it. I see him. He's looking down. He's like picks up the box. He's looking on the floor. He's looking all around. I go, all right, fine. Let me get up and show him how to play. I walk over.
You're like, what does this guy not know how to put a board game?
No,
together?
I know. No, he does. He's a gamer too. And
You're thinking about it, like, what's wrong?
Yeah, what is wrong? So I go over there. I go, what's up? He's like, we're missing all the yellow dinosaurs. I'm like, what? How does these? What?
What?
So we go through the box. The box was completely was missing the entirety of the yellow dinosaur from the base box.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, well, we hodgepodged it and just put in extra dinosaurs and counted as wild or something. So, but I have her copy now that I'm going to return to.
Yeah.
Now have to get her another copy of. I said she was all upset because it was like her copy and it was missing all the dinosaurs. Like, no, we'll return it. I'll get you a whole new copy. We got it. But I was like, Jesus Christ, can I ever get a dinosaur copy of this game? Like, I don't know. I looked on VGG. There's like 17 different publishers, so I'm just going to return it.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, I'm just going to get it. Yeah, I'm just going to get a new one and return this one. But I was like, she was a little upset at first, and I'm like, it's all good. We'll get you another one.
Mine is from Akamana Games.
Yeah, that's mine.
You're right. There's a whole bunch of different
must
ones.
be,
Yeah. So
I'm looking at my copy. It's right over Rob's shoulder.
Yeah.
Ankama, Ankama on
That's
comma.
Yeah. That's whose mine's from as well too. But yeah, so I was like, damn it. I'm like, I just can't buy a copy of Draftosaurus or any of the expansions and not have problems with them. So
that's strange.
Yeah, it is a little strange. I wonder, I mean, I'll be honest, I did buy this copy from Amazon just because we were buying presents at the same time for other stuff. Maybe it's a bootleg copy that's missing, it wasn't done right, but who knows? Maybe it's a legit
Somebody else is playing the game at home right now, and they're wondering why they keep drawing so many yellows.
So many yellows.
Why am I always pulling yellows?
Yeah. It was kind of shocking. Like I was like, man, missing
That's
the entirety. Yeah, it was a little bit of a bummer. So that was the good story that ended poorly, but it'll end better when she gets her new copy in a couple of days. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the yellows. Let's talk about the reds. And by reds, I mean the Russians, the Soviets. East Front, Quartermaster General. This one is by Ares Games. This is the game that I introduced Rob to. I think, Wayne, you played it with us, too, at Armada Games and here at the house, if I'm right.
It
was a 3v3 game as I got introduced to it, a 6-player big old honkin' party game, party war game. And I loved it. I really did. And I wanted to play more of it, but getting 6 people together is not that easy.
Doesn't happen all the time.
But then they announced Quartermaster General, the East Front, the 2-player version of the game. So let's get this bad boy cracked open. In this 2-player version, the main difference is complexity. And I think, Rob, you're going to like that.
Okay. All right.
Because it takes it down to 2 players instead of 6.
Ratchets it up a little bit.
It adds complexity to the cards. They have more options on the cards for what they do.
Okay.
You've got more different types of different units, so additional different units such as infantry and airplanes. And you're going to be battling over the east front of the war as either the Soviets or the Germans. So you're still playing simple game of controlling area.
Okay, still
it is an area control game at the end of the day, but the key in this game is controlling the supplies, the supply lines. The goal again, the main thing you're trying to do in the game is control stars, which give you victory points. But you have to have every unit in supply, meaning you could trace back to a supply, which is a star. So this is the 2-player version. With the units are either airplane, army, tank, or those are 3. Navy, 4. Okay. 4 different types of units now. And again, it's all card play. This is the same guy that does War of the Ring, the card game.
Okay.
Ian Brody. Did I get it right? Ian Brody. Yep. Okay. Ian Brody's Quartermaster General. East Front 2-player game. This is one I'm excited about.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I think the one problem with the Quartermaster General game is really you do need 6 players, or then you have a couple of people 2-fisting it. So it
not 10 o'clock.
Not 2-fisting
it. 2-handing it. Excuse me. That's better.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. All right. Whatever.
You could play 2 players, but they would have to run 3 countries each.
Right.
Yeah, so
and they're all 3. Yeah. You're like Wayne said, he was right. He'd be triple handing it. They'd be like, you have to control each country individually, draw for each country, play for each country, discard for each country, and then go to the next country.
Yeah.
The game really is a 6-player game. It is what it is.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Quartermaster General, East Front. That's under the Christmas tree for me.
Back to Wayne.
Nice. I don't have the box.
Phone lines are open, 813-618-7099. Call in. Tell us about what you got.
Yep. I don't have them in the box anymore because we took them all out, but I was able to get Lorcana cards. So I got
cool.
a couple of starter decks that we're getting ready to play, and then each starter deck comes with a booster pack, and I picked up a couple extra booster packs, and my kid and I are deciding whether we actually want to keep it or if we actually want to sell it, but we got no. So this is special.
Get rid of him. Hold on, get him back.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So this is a Bell Strange but Special. It's got the alternative art, and it's a near mint like foil, and it's like average sell price like $150 like in the last 2 months. So I'm like,
That came in the booster pack.
It came in one of the booster packs. Yeah, one of the booster packs I picked up. So I got a bunch of foils, but I haven't even looked at the other price of the foils that I got. But that one, I was like, as soon as we opened, it was the first pack we opened, and I'm like, ooh, that looks like a really cool card. I bet you that one's worth some money. And I looked it up on the TCG player. I'm like, $150. Okay, all right, maybe that one's going on for sale.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
but how
keep
would
all the
you
other
sell
cards.
that?
Buy more Lorcana.
You could sell it either to a local shop or you can sell it online. I could put it up on, for sale a couple of different places. But even if the average sale price is like 150, I'll take 100. I don't care. I'll just dump it.
$100 for it. Yeah,
that's more Lorcana.
Yeah,
I'll take 5 packs of Lorcana.
That's what I told him. I said, buddy, we can sell this one card that's not even in the starter decks. Like, so we have the 2 starter decks that we can play, and then we have like all the booster pack cards that maybe we're gonna build a deck out of it, but maybe not. And I'm like,
yeah, I didn't know that, Robert. The starter deck that we bought, the same ones that Wayne bought into, because I bought them for my kids as well. Put them in the stockings for my sons and for my son's girlfriend, because they're both Disney files, and she's been gaming with us. So I put a deck in her stocking too. Came with a booster pack inside of the starter deck.
Okay.
So not only do you get the starter deck, which has the 2 different
cards,
colors, I guess they call them, because it's different inkwells that you're using to manifest these characters into the game. The 2 different colors in the deck, plus a booster pack that you can check out for cool cards.
Yep. Each booster pack has at least 1 foil in it, and the starter packs have 2 foils in them. And those are the ones that get a good amount of money. So, and I'll tell you what, just looking, I'll say this though, like the artwork is amazing, like on these cards. Like I was really just was looking through them and just really, it's like a level. I mean, my kid plays Pokemon. I've played Magic. I feel like these cards are like a level above as far as the art and layout and the look of them. They just feel different, right, than the other. So I can see why this game is being gobbled up by like the Disney files, because the art is amazing, the cards are cool, and those foils. It's hard to see in person, but that bell foil is really cool looking.
Yeah, the foil has like what's the kaleidoscope type of a feel to it? Is that the word? Like, it's not just a shininess to it. Like there's a pattern to the shininess. I don't know if I'm explaining that well to my podcast listeners.
Okay.
But it's cool. We watched the video on how to play, and we're gonna play over the weekend. So hopefully next week I'll have a little like, hey, this is what we think of it. But I know it hit, because as soon as my wife we opened up the deck and she was looking at it and she's like, okay, so this is like Magic. I'm like, yeah, it's like Magic, but it's it's a little easier to learn, and she was like, oh, this could be a card game I could get into, because she likes the art. And I was
reading a review. I was reading a review this week about it, and a lot of the review had to do with the theme in the game, the way it's played. It's so much more friendly to families. So when you talk about, instead of like you would normally play in a TCG, a trading card game, where you're attacking the opponent to wear them down.
Yep.
Here you're not. It's almost you're gaining. You need 20. What's the word that I'm looking for?
Lore.
Lore. Yeah,
yeah,
20 lore that you're trying to collect in order to win the game. So it's less mean, right? I'm not sure how else to say it. It's much more friendly to collect lore than to try to attack you.
Yep, and you can't. I can't attack your characters until you've used them for something. So until you tap your character to use it for the lore, it's not attackable. I can then attack it, but it could also damage me. It damages me back. So a lot of times it's like, well, is it worth me losing my own card to take out your card? So there's a little like you have to play. Is it what's it better? And then there's a lot of instant cards and there's damage. So there is some attack to it. But it's definitely not as ruthless as say like a Magic is or Pokemon. Yeah, and
Ron agrees. Lorcana is nice and more family friendly.
Yeah, and Ron, I don't know if you saw me show up the bell card, the foil bell card. You have to in chat say if should I sell it or keep it.
You got to decide.
My kid wants to sell it because he's like,
keep,
that's worth $100.
Sell.
But no, it's cool. I'm looking forward to playing it. I really having the cards in hand. I'm like, okay, I can kind of see why there's some hype to it. Right. I haven't played the game yet, but just the cards themselves are just really nice. So,
There are
'cause my
ways
kid-
to discard other
Yeah,
characters,
other
though.
characters,
So there are
yeah.
ways to make you discard your character, but I'm not killing it, right? It's not
It's
dead.
discarding it.
Yeah,
discard.
So it's cool. I mean, my
Process,
kid-
sell it.
Sell it. Yeah, there you go. Sell it. You know, he's got a bunch of
Sell
oh,
it.
no, yeah. He got a bunch of Pokemon cards too, and like I was just looking at like the rare foil Pokemon card I got, like it is like whatever it is, and the Lorcana card. I'm like, there was a difference.
In the quality?
I think so. I mean the card thickness was the same, but just the artwork and just the way the card felt.
It's
like,
Disney,
finish.
though. Like,
Yeah.
they pay their
They better
artists.
do it right.
yeah.
We hope. Now they got them trapped in Orlando somewhere.
And from what I think I'd heard that there's different styles of art. It's that they had commissioned a bunch of different artists and they gave them free reign to alter things and to make different versions of the cards. And so that was entirely up to each of the individual artists on how to do those special editions of each of the cards, because Scar may have 10 different versions of Scar, and one has fire, one has ice, one has whatever, and they didn't give the artist rules on how to do it. They said, we just want 10 versions of this. You can do like an old 50s version, a 90s version, you can do a good version, an evil version. It's up to you, free reign on we just want 10 versions of this character in your art style, and then they were given free reign to kind of decide how they did that. So that was kind of cool.
That. There's Beast from
Move it towards the center of the camera. Let's see if it focuses in.
There we go. Get in there. Focus.
Go, gadget eyes.
No, he just wants to focus on Wayne.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Wayne's
Well.
beautiful face.
Yeah.
The
It's
camera's
my camera is like a Logitech, so it's gonna zoom in on my face. But yeah, so Carlos, did you guys open the cards? Have you looked at them?
I have not checked with the boys to see if they open. I think my youngest son immediately opened them. I haven't gone through them,
Okay.
but they ended up in his room somewhere, and then he came out like crying the other night. I can't find my Lorcana cards.
We all
And I'm
crushed
like,
up in the corner somewhere.
And there's
Listen, bro.
there's a couple of Lorcana cards that there's a couple that are going for like $300, $400, $500.
Well, he was all riled up because the Pokemon booster he bought that same game day that we were together had like a $40 card in there.
Yeah.
So that got him all riled up. He didn't care because he got that in his stocking too. Suddenly Lorcana didn't mean nothing, but yeah, I didn't tell him to check the booster pack. I'm going to tell him what you found and see. Oh, he just popped into the game show.
It's $130.
He believes it's $130.
I checked.
Did you find your Lorcana cards? Do you know if you have a good one in there?
Joining through his stuff all on.
He still has not found us. Mr. Wayne says he found a card that's worth about $150 in his Lorcana deck. So you need to go find your cards, says Poppy. Pablo says, I would get some packs, but I already spent all my allotted Disney money on Disney and Marvel Villainous. Pablo, call into the show and provide us your thoughts on Marvel Villainous versus Disney Villainous.
Yeah.
I did receive, so back to me talking about the Christmas situation here. I did receive a copy of the expansion to Marvel Villainous. So I did get a copy of the one with Otto Octavius on it,
Okay.
Doc Ock on the front.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I'm very grateful. My son's girlfriend, their family sent it over. It was probably from like Target. I'm sure you can find it at Target.
Yeah.
But Robert knows how I feel about Marvel Villainous.
Yeah. We had our experience with
Compared to Disney Villainous. Pablo, I wonder if you feel the same way. 813-618-7099 is the number.
Yep.
You can call in and tell us about what your thoughts are between the two.
And like I say, I just bought my son, because my son's a Villainous fan. He liked the original. He actually did not dislike Marvel when we played it. He admitted it was kind of broken, and he talked about he was going to try to, quote-unquote, fix it. But I don't know if he ever got back to that. But I bought him the Star Wars Villainous for Christmas, so we got to play that one
Okay,
now.
I'm
See-
interested in that one because my son,
Yeah.
Christian, wants to play that.
It's
But
not-
after being hurt by Marvel Villainous, I'm afraid to get into Star Wars Villainous. I need your thoughts.
He read the rules last night, and he told me this morning when he got up, he came and actually found me, and he's like, Dad, this one's got vehicles. You actually have vehicles where you can transport from one end of the board to the other or whatever, so you can move around more easily on your board if you get vehicles in play. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. So,
Nice.
yeah, so that'll be interesting.
That warmed your heart, didn't it?
Yeah,
When
yeah,
your
I was-
kid walks
I was
in
excited,
to
yeah.
talk to you about board games,
Yeah, my 20-year-old, and he's always been kind of down on board games.
you're like laying in bed, kind of waking up that morning.
Yeah.
He can't even wait for you to come out to get coffee.
I read the rules. I want to play it. Yeah.
That would warm my heart.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice to see. So yeah, I'm glad he's excited about that. The only other game he gets that excited about is Star Wars Outer Rim, which he's only played I think once, maybe twice now, and he just
I remember we played at I taught him at Dice Tower.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's played since then, to be honest, but he keeps begging to play it. I told him that I don't want to play it 2-player. I want to play it with 3 or 4. And my daughter Emmy is not about it. She has no interest in pick up and deliver. She has no interest in the Star Wars theme, so she's not interested in it at all. So she keeps refusing to play. So he's been working on her for almost a year now, trying to get her to break down to play it. So
I think she would like it, though.
Yeah.
I think, although it is Star Wars, I think the mission-based piece of it is something she would enjoy. What's the word I'm looking for? Action economy piece of trying to succeed at missions.
yeah,
That's a thing.
I've told her.
In Star Wars Outer Rim. It is all about trying to complete these missions in the fastest and cheapest way possible.
Yeah, I think she could find something in it.
Let's see. Aaron Clark said.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Wayne.
No, I was going to say Outer Rim is still probably like one of the only Star Wars board games I've ever actually really played.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know what it is. I'm a huge
Because it's
Star
like
Wars fan.
Firefly, the board game for you.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's just like there's a bunch of other Star Wars games out there, but I just never played them. And it's like that and Lord of the Rings are like 2 of my favorite IPs, and you would think I would have played like all of them, but I just don't. I've
Because
played Marvel
it's
Villainous,
hard to
either.
find good ones.
yeah.
When the IP is that good, majority of the games are cash grabs.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm less willing to fall prey. Just because it has Star Wars on it doesn't mean I buy it. I have to hear from a real gamer,
Yeah,
not someone who likes Star
that
Wars,
it's worth it
because they will forgive even like Star Wars Munchkin. They'd be like, it's amazing,
yeah, of course.
because they love Star Wars.
Yeah,
Right.
No, I need a gamer. Are you a gamer? And what do you think of the game?
Right.
Let's see. Aaron Clark says, just getting home for the holidays. We'll have to call in next week with all the recent plays. Got to play 3 of my top 5 of all time and a couple new ones I enjoyed.
Nice.
I like Aaron's calls.
That's good.
It's been a little while. Aaron had the kid last year, I think.
Yes, yeah.
And that kind of slowed him down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's a call.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Ryan from Atlanta.
He
And I
heard
don't normally
Outer
do
Rim.
this.
He heard Outer Rim, of
Really?
course.
Anyway, I had to call. So Star Wars Outer Rim, I agree. 2 players is not as great of an experience as 3 or 4 players. However, 2 players with the bounty hunter AI is good.
Okay.
Is that an
And here's
official rule set? I know the Bounty Hunter
Yes.
AI is for
The-
solo play.
It's in the expansion, and it is not. No, it's not official. But here's what happens: the bounty hunter AI is going after bounties. Okay, and like for the most part, it may not affect you. But if you have a crew, or that's a bounty, or if you yourself is a bounty, guess what? The AI is coming after you, and so like it makes the game dynamic even with 2 players.
Okay. I don't have
And, like,
the
in-
expansion, so I'll have to look into that then.
Yeah, so it is quickly becoming my preferred way to play because, of course, the game does take a little long.
Yeah.
Yep.
It does take a while. So, like,
I won't say it outstays its welcome. It is welcome the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. The entire. Shut your mouth.
I've
Robert.
had a few games
Shut your damn
go
mouth.
long.
Shut your damn. It's after 10 o'clock. I can say it. Shut your damn mouth. The game does not outstay its welcome. You just realize, holy crap, it's late.
2.5 hours later.
Yeah. I think the game doesn't like how we played it, where we were talking. You have a movie on. You're going to spend an afternoon playing this game. That's perfect. But if you go into it without the idea of, hey, let's put on a Star Wars movie, we're going to watch that one and probably a little bit of another one while we talk in the game.
Maybe a third one.
A trilogy.
Right? But I mean,
Yeah.
like TI and there's a ton of games that are like that, right? There where you have to go into it knowing this is an afternoon. You're not going to get 3 or 4 games in. You're going to get this game in.
I still remember, Ron, when you drove
yeah.
up, we had to make decisions on what we were going to play because Ron was going to teach us Atlantis Rising.
Yeah.
And he was going to teach us the new expansion to Outer Rim. And the moment we were deciding on which to play first, I knew that with our decision to play Outer Rim, that would be it
That
for
was
the
pretty
evening.
much it. Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was okay with that because I was more excited about playing the new Outer Rim expansion than I was playing Atlantis Rising.
And that's fair. And to agree with Wayne's point, playing this game, and I would also say playing like Firefly the game, playing Zaya, and games like that, it is all about the expectation management. If you think you're just going to get in and out on this game, like play games like Mitchell plays, and with these types of games, then you're going to be in for disappointment. Because like these games, I feel like the theme brings out like these side conversations and all this kind of stuff, and like that's part of the fun of playing these games, and of quoting the movies and TV shows and all this kind of stuff. And so I mean that's the experience for me. So yeah, it can take a while, but 2 players, Bounty Hunter AI. I know Carlos has the expansion, Rob. So like
yeah.
Maybe you can just borrow the Bounty Hunter AI deck, and the AI general AI deck from him, and
You can borrow the whole game. You just take it with them.
Yeah, I've got the base.
I got the library, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all sleeved.
and
Remember we had to unsleeve everything
Yeah.
to play the...
Expansion.
That's what took forever when Ron got here.
Yeah.
Half of it was sleeved, half of it was not. We had to unsleeve a lot of it.
Well, and I think the last time you played it, you did a Carlos put away too, so it wasn't what I'd call the most organized.
Oh yeah, it's all typical. Yeah.
Let's see. Did y'all let me put it away that way again?
Let's see.
Let's go to the top table cam. Top table cam. Let's see. How did we put this away when Ron left? Here's the expansion box lid that I cut out. That way I can remind myself I have the expansion. And it looks like everyth's where it belongs.
Oh, somebody else must
So
have done
Ron
it.
must have made sure that I put that away the right way before he left for Georgia.
what I distinctly remember happening is you, Carlos, actually got fed up with yourself in this moment and decided to put it away properly.
I don't believe it.
That
Just
sounds...
one time.
That's starting to make sense. Because it took us forever to put everything to set up because I had done the Carlos put away.
Oh yeah.
And I regretted it so
Makes sense.
that I ended up staying. I told you, because you had to go back to Georgia. I told you to leave.
Yeah.
I got this, and I put everything in labeled baggies. So everything's labeled with labeled deck holders for all the cards. So here's a camera. You can see I labeled all the cards. So there's the data bank. Everything's in here. Is everything sleeved? No, everything is unsleeved so that we can put... We had to unsleeve the base game in order to add the expansion.
Yeah.
I remember that night.
And we got to halfway through, and we're like, forget it, just put it together, and
Yeah.
we'll just know that's an expansion card.
Well, there it is, Robert. It's all set up, ready to go when Arby's ready. Bring him over.
Yeah,
Bring the boy over. We got the 3 of us.
Play. 3 of us full play. Yeah,
Pre-show.
Making me play. Chester in the chat wants to know how many fame do you normally play to?
Me?
Yeah.
I play with the ambitions all the time, so it's 8 plus completing the ambition.
Okay, there you go with the expansion. Got it. Yep.
Yep. Although with the Bounty Hunter AI, I just let the Bounty Hunter go to 10 BG. Period. So, because it's not, you're right, it's not an official way to play the game, but it works because the Bounty Hunter AI is designed to be, to have a level of interaction. So,
yeah, there's that. Yeah, added that whole negotiation thing for those tokens, and
I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The negotiation thing, obviously, you won't be able to negotiate with the AI. Right. But you can still do the other stuff. I mean, my 2-player game I just played this past Friday, I mean, we did a couple of joint jobs together.
Yeah.
And I could have refused, but I'm like, why refuse? Well, I'm going to get money out of it. Like,
yeah, but rising tide lifts all boats. Pablo Jackie Robinson, a.k.a. 42, says, I would try Outer Rim over Zaya because of the art alone. It's high on my must-try list.
Yeah, Zaya's definitely the art. That's secondary. Zaya's more about the
art is terrible.
The mechanisms and the gameplay. Definitely a more complex pick up and deliver game. But Outer Rim with the theme and the art and Star Wars. I mean, of course, it's. I would agree. They both have their place, though. Xayah and Outer Rim are definitely different games, and I enjoy both of them.
Yeah. All right. I want to hang up, guys. You know, get on me.
We'll try to trigger you again and make you call
Let's see
in.
if we can make you call a third time. Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
But it's a call-in show, folks. It's a call-in show, folks.
Yep. Call in. Thanks, Ron.
Good night, Ron.
They-
Phone line's open. 813-618-7099 is the number. Still waiting on Pablo to call in. I know he keeps chatting. We'll take the chats.
Yeah.
Pablo says, Pablo42, a.k.a. Jackie Robinson, says, Disney Villainous being almost all multiplayer solitaire, while Star Wars Villainous being similar with a lot more take that.
Okay. So got to be ready for the take that. All right. I think I can do that.
Which we did agree. Villainous is, Disney Villainous is very solitaire.
Yeah.
So I think earlier in the chat he said essentially goes from multiplayer solitaire to more take that in that order: Disney, Marvel, then Star Wars. So Star Wars will be a lot more take that and less multiplayer solitaire than the other two.
Yeah. Disney has I say a fair amount of take that, because that's one place where the game can drag. Is again, if there starts to become a leader, there again tends to be a little bit of that pile on that everybody starts playing cards against that leader,
adding the heroes to their plans.
Yeah, kind of muck up what their strategy is. But they fixed some of that with some of the expansions and some of the ways the different characters play. But yeah, I'll be interested to see then if Star Wars is the most to take that. We played Marvel, I think, just the one time. I don't think we ever did. We play it twice? We might have tried it a second time. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm interested. I'm going to see how that goes.
All right, Wayne, any other hauls, any other gifts under the tree you want to talk about while we wait for folks at home to tell us about theirs?
Tell us what they. So no more games. That was it for games for me. But I did get my 3D printer. So
nice.
I was going to put it together today, but then got distracted with some stuff. So I don't want to rush putting it together. I want to do it right. You know, take my time, really set it up right. But yeah, that'll get set up over the weekend, and hopefully we'll start printing some cool stuff. I already started, following all the threads on BGG and other, the websites with inserts and upgrades and things you can print, and so.
It's a whole other world.
It is, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. My kids are already like.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking.
What Wayne comes
Listen,
up with.
you need me to make a token? I'll make you a token. We together with our powers combined, we can
That's
make
true,
tokens.
You know the designer better than I do. Yeah.
Well, I can make tokens. You can make miniatures. I can make tokens.
Yep.
So you need tokens. I'll make acrylic tokens, and then you can make minis. Together, we can make some upgrades.
If you need 800 or something, just contact Brian Zeno, and he's got 6 of them now or something.
His house is full of printers.
He's got like 6 3D printers now.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
You go into it. We'll see. And I know Diego's got, I think, 2 printers, and I think Nick's got a couple of printers. I mean, it's a bunch of our people. So and that's what sort of made me jump off the deep end and buy one finally. Was there's enough people in our group that are doing it, that if I have a problem, I know I can pick up the phone and
support staff,
message somebody, be like, hey, what can I got a 6-pack of beer for you. Can you come over and help me with this thing? So I got one.
Wayne, whenever someone calls in, their number does show up on the Google phone number here. So I can start saying, as people talk about 3D printers, I can put a little asterisk on there, and we can just start dialing random numbers. Hey, I heard you had a 3D printer. I'm having this problem.
Nah, but that's cool. I got one that it came highly recommended from Diego, the Anchor Make, because it's very much like set and forget it. Like it really is meant for beginners. It's not meant to be crazy. It's very fast and it's very durable, and it's a big company. So it's got really good reviews. So we'll see. Hopefully you'll get a review in a couple weeks when I start printing some stuff. So.
All right, Carl, so you got another game down there you want to talk about?
I got gift cards.
Oh, gift cards. Okay.
So, of course, part of the Christmas standard is like Amazon gift cards, right? That's what we normally get.
I got some of those, yeah.
Yep. So I got my Amazon gift cards for my sister-in-law, and I ended up using them thanks to Daryl, also known as Dev88.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I've got gift cards. I haven't used them yet. You've already got them used. Wow.
He talked about, dude.
It lasted, 30 seconds?
Not even. Like, it was already, Dev was already talking about it, I think, Christmas morning or Christmas Eve. Either one. He was playing solo. Solo, right? He was co-op or solo? No, co-op.
Was
he was playing co-op. That's what really stood out for me. He was playing co-op, Concordia. And I was like, wait a minute, what? There's a co-op? No way. He told me about the Solitaria
Sure.
Is that how you say that? I don't know. Latin's not my first language. Concordia Solitaria, which is an expansion for 1 or 2 players. This is the solo expansion that can also be played as a 2-player expansion for Concordia, where you play against a bot, also known as Contrarius.
Contrarius. Oh.
Yeah, this is Rob's other nickname in college.
Yeah.
Contrarius is the opponent you play against in this cooperative challenge, or you can play it individually against Contrarius. It requires Concordia or Concordia Venus to play with, and it has what I watched Rado's review, and what really stood out for me and pulled the trigger was this idea that, Rob, instead of adding like an AI bot or an Automa deck into the game, right? So most of the times when you play a solo game or you add an opponent for others to play with, is a whole nother round that you have to add where you control the bot or the game, right, as the opponent. No. What we do here is we replace your deck of Concordia cards, which is what you use to trigger your actions in Concordia. You get a deck of cards, you're going to have a whole hand of them, and you're going to play your hand one at a time, triggering actions as you go. Then you get to refresh and then pick them all up and do it again, right?
Right.
Love it. They add a little box on each card. Whenever you play a card, the bottom of that card is what Contrarius does.
Okay.
So you are playing for you and your opponent.
Gotcha.
Whatever action you take, Contrarius will do the bottom of that card. So if you lose,
it's your own fault. You did it to yourself.
Blame yourself. You played the card that allowed Contrarius to trigger whatever it was that he did.
Wow.
I'm curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, interesting.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
So, Rob, as much as we love Concordia,
Yeah, Concordia's great.
let's play it co-op
Okay.
and see how we do against Contrarius.
I'm all for that. That's good.
But then while in Amazon looking at Solitaria,
You had to do it. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I kept hearing about this expansion for Concordia. The big box expansion, which is, I'm still weirded out by the shape of their box. Like, look at that, folks.
Yeah.
That's like this. Look at that. That's a forearm length.
That
thin
weird
box.
size, man. I don't know
This
why they
is.
continue to have that weird size box. It's
Yeah.
They, I guess, so they can get more faces of antique people on
It's
here.
like the Power Grid
Ancients.
box. Yeah, it's almost
no
the same
French
size,
restaurant
yeah.
this one though.
No,
Yeah, no.
they saved that one for the base box up there. Salsa, the expansion, which also means is Latin for salted, adds a new resource called salt. So to the base game of Concordia, you're going to add a new commodity. It's salt. You have cities that produce salt, but it's more expensive to trigger those cities to produce salt. But salt is a wild resource. So it's almost like nectar in Wingspan.
Wingspan, yeah.
It's a wild resource you can use for anything. It just takes a little more work to get it done. I kept hearing great things about the Salsa expansion, but it also comes with a new double-sided board with the Byzantium Empire as well as Hispania, which is supposed to be a very good, tight 2-player map.
Oh, good. Okay.
So the more 2-player maps I have, the better. I know I got Britannia
Right.
for that reason because I wanted a tight 2-player map. This is going to give me a second tight 2-player map. Concordia is at the top, number 6 of my top 20
Toit.
for 2020 played. The board is on the floor. You can't see it. But what I did, Wayne, because you were talking about kind of reorganizing your shelf to make sure that you're putting what you love first. And that's kind of what I did. I took my top shelf of games, and I had to actually go into the bottom shelf. But anything that's on my top 20, I moved it up.
Nice.
I cycled it up to say, you know what, your top shelf game. If you're top 20 for the year, you need to be somewhere on my top shelf. So all the games that are going to end up in top 20 zone are going to be on the top shelf and or second rung predominantly displayed. And I think, and then that actually made me rethink a lot of games. Like, why do I still own this? So, and Rob, you'll notice all my games are on the shelf now. There are no games thrown on the floor except for Wayne's copy of Terraforming Mars.
Yeah.
Wayne's copy of Terraforming Mars on the floor.
I did my Amazon gift card. I bought Prelude because everyone I said you can't play Terraforming Mars without Prelude. You need Prelude. It's the quintessential. And then with both expansions to Quacks of Quedlinburg, you had graciously gave me coin capsules. I'm like 30 or 40 short.
Oh, no!
Yeah. So,
Does it have the size on it?
Yeah, like the 10 millimeter, whatever it is, or something like that.
Whatever the millimeter. Did it have the sticker with the size?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be able to order more.
Pick
Then.
up some more of those.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I ordered that, and I ordered the coin cat it was like a 400 pack on Amazon on sale. So I bought like that because I figured there's got to be another game that I'll use them in, right?
Sure. Yeah, gotta be.
The packs are pretty large and they're so cheap. It's like,
Yeah.
but I think
so
they come
you could
straight
buy,
from
like,
China.
100
It takes forever.
Yeah, no, these are coming. They'll be here like by Monday or Tuesday. But it was like for 100, it was like $5, right? But then 400 was $8. Like, okay,
Might as well go 400.
might as well buy 400. Yeah, so I got that in Prelude or something.
They're gonna swim in the clacking coins of
Just
plastic.
roll around in him on his bed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So no,
But
I'm
yeah,
excited.
yeah.
I'm excited to get the expansions to Quacks Played, and so that'll be fun because I like Quacks.
And Prelude for Terraforming Mars must have. It's the what is it? Champions of Midgard. What was the expansion?
Valhalla.
It's the Valhalla of.
Which I opened that box up, which I was glad to see. I put it away correctly.
Oh, no way.
Because Wayne had given me the expansion he had for the dice.
dice,
There's a
promo.
a city or a land, a space, a building. That's what I'm looking for. That uses a dice mechanism, and it has all the polyhedrals.
Okay.
So I put that inside there, and it's on my shelf.
Cool.
Higher up, I put all my favorites on the 5x5 right behind me.
Now I'm seeing more room on your shelf, so behind you there's open space.
Yeah. Did you get rid of
Is there
stuff or what?
is there a coal pile somewhere?
No, everything's up high.
Just organized?
Everything is up high.
Yeah, because there's a bigger stack over behind.
I gotta
Rob
get
there.
like an extra camera to like just throw around
Yeah, you can just kind of
You can
pan
see
around
one.
and show stuff. Yeah.
because
But,
it
I
is
mean,
bad.
you said that as you reorganize your shelf, you say, "Why do I even still own this game?" The answer
Because it's
apparently
well,
was,
because your turn's gone. So if someone wants to play it, I have a copy.
So you're telling me the stuff down here on the bottom is the crap. Is that right?
No,
Oh,
the
no,
crap
okay.
tends to be up high and away,
Okay.
except for if it's like large, like Euphoria's up there.
Tucked in the corners? What?
You know,
Come on.
it's not my favorite.
That's a good one.
We got Blazon up there. I still haven't had to play it. Automobile, that's the new stuff that came in. I gotta play After the Empire again.
Got Ticket to Ride up there? Come on.
Yeah. Okay, so there is the top shelf. It's all that matters. That's all I
All right,
organize.
all
Everything else is random.
All right. We'll go with that.
That's all I got. That's what I got.
nothing for you, Rob. No Christmas.
I
no
got gift
party?
certificates, so I haven't used them yet. I'm very picky and very selective about my games, and we've kind of talked about that before. I try to keep a curated, is that the right word, collection. I try to have a certain number of different types of games. I like to cover different mechanisms. I don't willy nilly just grab stuff. So I'm pretty particular about what I pick up.
willy-nilly.
So, yeah. Carlos is willy nilly. So I'm gonna put some thought into my gift certificates, gift cards, Amazon cards, and I'll probably pick up 2 or 3. Real top-notch games, and I know we were just looking before. Dan in our game group, prior owner of Your Turn Cafe, just put up a whole bunch more games that he's getting rid of. He's calling out of his collection, so I may.
I was tempted by a few.
Yeah,
Me too. I had to shut that window
Yeah, there was a
fast.
handful of them in there. that
Oh,
I'm like,
Carlos,
"Ooh."
there were a ton of like games that you were like, we're all over, man. War games and
Stop
Wild Blue
it.
Yonder.
Get some help.
Yeah.
Stop it.
There were 2 games that were on my list of when we did our holiday top 5 games we would like to see under our tree. There were 2 of the 5 that I listed on his list there. So I'm thinking
which
about
2?
maybe picking those up. So it was I mentioned I had kind of my different qualifiers for each one. One was a game that I should have probably owned a long time ago that I never did get, which was Brass, Birmingham and/or Lancashire.
And Lancashire,
He has both
them
of them
both.
on there. And
Yeah.
then what was the other game? Crap, I'm drawing a blank on what the other game was. Was one of my other top 5. I'll have to go back and
Rococo?
refresh my memory. It'll hit me in a minute. Well, what was it?
Rococo.
Oh, Rococo. No, I know people were talking about Rococo. No, that was not on my list, but there was another one. I don't remember. Carlos noticed it, and he was like, "Oh, how about that one?" I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's another one that was on my list of top 5." So actually, Carlos is pulling up the pictures now. So
Yeah, there were
I
a
see it
couple
here,
out there that I was like, oh man, but I think they're probably already all up on eBay, right? Because he said he was going to lift them all by noon today or something.
oh, did he? Oh, I thought he said
Yeah,
after
there's
the
something
New
in his
Year, but-
comment there. He's going to. Oh, maybe it's after the New Year. I thought he said.
Yeah, I think he said after the New Year. I think he was going to give us a couple days for the people in the Discord to look at them. So because he just posted them up, I think it was today. So he was going to give us a day or two to look at them. But Carlos is panning through. I know Endeavor was in there. We talked about that. I know he's got the blinged out version of.
I'm surprised he's
Endeavor.
letting that go. He loves that game.
Yeah, it's a good one. So there was quite a few good ones in his collection there. So I'm trying to look now as Carlos is scanning through all
Galeris,
the.
Kanban EV, Homeless at Root.
Yeah, the whole route collection there, all those. I know he had a whole bunch of the expansion maps for Ticket to Ride that I was there actually when he picked those up. And so,
he had Terracotta Army. Do you not own
That's
that?
the one.
Terracotta Army. That was another one that was on my list. Yep.
We got a call coming in.
Excellent.
Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Chester D. from Tennessee.
Chester from Tennessee.
Correct.
Hello, Chester. Welcome to the show. We're talking about our Christmas gifts that we received. What would you like to talk about?
That's right. Well, I've been listening to you guys talk about your game halls, and I'm interested. But I've got some game halls of my own. I've got some HeroClix figures.
This wouldn't happen to be Chester Wilson in the chat, would it?
One and the same, my man.
Oh,
There you go.
Hey, long time chatter, first time caller. Welcome to the show.
Glad to have you on the show.
Well, we got to get that DJ
yeah.
horn for my man here.
Pew, pew, pew. That's hilarious.
Welcome to the show, Chester. We love your chats, man.
Oh yeah, well, I'm very glad. I discovered you guys back in the late summer, early fall,
Okay.
around about there, and I just fell in love. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's fun. But anyway, so. Yeah, oh yeah, fell in love with, Ron Frazier always popping off,
Hey, listen, I have a love for Tennessee whiskeys.
Oh, there you go.
I really do.
Yeah.
Currently, actually, Maker's Mark in the glass right now. A little earlier, had some Boulier. So I do like my bourbons and whiskeys. So you're at least located in an area that I've gone to and visited. I've done the battlefields out there, the Chickamauga battlefields, and enjoyed that. So I stayed in Tennessee in the mountains and taking the kids to play in the snow. So you're living in a beautiful part of the country. So I'm glad to have you as a viewer and a caller.
Oh yeah, very blessed, very blessed. Yeah, I sure am. But anyway, we're talking about games.
Yes,
And
Christmas
so,
halls.
Christmas halls and how we game. Well, the way I game is, I'm just, living day by day. I'm a pilgrim in this old world.
I hear you.
We're all pilgrims in this world, and so I got a Star Trek Panic in front of me.
I've owned it. I sold it to a friend of mine who I loaned it to him. I loaned it to him, and I think he kept it for over a year.
Yeah.
And eventually he bought it off me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
You lent it to Nick for a year, and then when you got it back, you sold it to me.
Was it you, Wayne, that ended up buying it?
Yeah.
Because it was like right after I got it back.
Okay. There you go.
We played it.
Star Trek Panic is still in the Beans and Dice community. It never left.
It's a good one. It's tough though, man.
Oh, okay.
But it's awesome in the way it implemented the Panic system.
Right.
Now, Chester, have you had a chance to play it yet?
Have you played Castle Panic? Let me ask you that. Have you played Castle Panic before?
I have twice.
Okay. Have you had a chance to play the Star Trek Panic?
Only twice.
Once. I like how they themed out the Star Trek Panic. I love the idea of the objects that you're dealing with as you fly through space move relative to the ship and your distance of speed. that really like solidified the theme, the feel of looking at, I don't know, the computer, right, with the outline of the ship and all the different things coming at it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the video games that we used to play, the top-down video games of Star Trek, where you would run the ship, so like a missile would be coming in one way, or a photon torpedo would be coming in one way, but you knew your shields were down on the right side, so you had to maneuver left to try to rotate your ship to get the shielded side into the trajectory of the missile.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look out.
I love it. That's a good title.
It definitely added a level of complexity to the Castle Panic, where everything was kind of stationary. You're just sitting in one place, everything's coming at you. This one, you've got some extra moving around, maneuvering. It definitely upped the game a little bit.
What are your thoughts on Star Trek Panic, Chester?
Well, I've only played it the one time, and so the thing that really fascinates me the most is what I believe Rob touched on was the maneuvering of the starship, as opposed to that really isn't in Castle Panic,
right?
But in Star Trek Panic, the ship can maneuver, and so.
Yeah, definitely more of a gamer's version. The Castle Panic is pretty widely known as a family level game. You can play with, as long as you have an adult or somebody a little more gamery who can kind of run the game. Kids can definitely jump in and play. I'd say with Star Trek Panic, it's definitely up another level, and so it takes
I think a couple of levels.
Yeah, a couple levels. Yeah, so it takes a more of a gamer, I think, to play that. It's probably not as family friendly.
Because they had a zombie panic, if I remember correctly, and that was in a cabin, so that upped it a level.
Oh.
And then it went into Star Trek Panic, and that upped it like a third level because of the maneuvering of the ship. And then it became more difficult for folks because you would have to track, all right, so here are all the things that are coming at me.
Yeah.
Which ones move in relation to my maneuvering?
Yeah.
Because you don't move the ship itself. The ship stays oriented north. If I could say that, if you're looking at the board, the ship orientated north kind of stays orientated north, but you kind of move everything else. Objects around it in a certain pattern depending on what the object is. And some objects moved and some objects didn't. So it really added some more complexity to the game, which is why I ended up getting rid of the title. Because for me, Panic, the games, were there to be light, fast, cooperative games. This was more of a gamer's game, and if I'm playing with some deep gamers, I'm probably playing something else. That's where I ended up. But your mileage may vary depending on how much love your group has for Star Trek.
Oh, well, I don't have a group. I just sit around the table and play mostly solo and cooperative games, quote unquote, against myself.
Okay.
So
yeah, I'm not. I don't know. I don't tend to play solo games.
That's how I play.
That's how you play.
Unless I do. I went back and looked, and I played a lot of solo games this last year.
Yeah.
I think I joke about that I don't play solo unless I'm playing solo, which happens a lot more than I thought.
Yeah.
What else are you getting into, Chester? So if you're not in a group, so it sounds like you're not giving or getting a lot of games for Christmas. Am I wrong? Did you get more games?
No, you're not wrong. I got.
So what are you playing then?
Games.
What's in your library? What's your staple? You're out in Tennessee. You're playing at your own table. Star Trek Panic is on there. What else is on the rotation for when you're getting games played?
Well, I got to tell you, man, I was really excited about HeroClix this last fall because the Wheels of Vengeance HeroClix set came out, and it included characters like Ghost Rider and Ghost Panther and Ghost this and Ghost that. It was very, kind of a gothic horror.
Now, Wayne, you were a judge for HeroClix tournaments for a while, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how long HeroClix has been around because you're talking, it's 22 years now. It's got to be 2000, 2001 when it first started coming out. And so I was a judge for HeroClix for a few years and collected everything for the first 3 or 4 years, and then kind of it was just ended up being too much to collect.
Oh, yeah. You gotta catch them all.
Yep.
WizKids is hoping you do.
Yeah,
they
on it. Yeah.
You know, they like what is it, about 3 or 4 years in, they made a couple of major changes to the rule set, and that's sort of when like a bunch of players that I knew and judges got out because it was just too much change. Like they were changing the rules constantly to try to make it I guess more competitive. I mean, ultimately, I think they made a lot of good changes to the rule system. They brought in a lot more mechanics, but it was just hard to keep up with the rule changes. And I remember being a judge, like I was a judge at a tournament, and like mid-tournament, I'm judging a match. And I'm like, nope, they can't do that. He's like, well, I can because the rules that came out today. I'm like, really? They changed the rule at noon today?
Oh.
Like, I'm out. You know,
Too much.
So, but it's real. I still have all the figures. I love them. They're cool, man.
Yeah, and you know, I have to. Part of me feels like Zev's Schlesinger. You know, forgive me for being, you know, beans and dice after dark. You know, slurring my words, but Zev Schlesinger. You know, when Z-Man got bought out by Asmodee. You know, he went over to WizKids, and I have to believe that old Zev had something to do with the tightening up of HeroClix rules. What do you think, Wayne?
Yeah, I would say that's probably correct. I mean, I think that they brought in, instead of having to change rules, they brought in the cards where, like, you have a figure, but you could have additional power cards that you can play. I don't know if they still even have it in the modern, but I remember when they changed it from, instead of updating a rule set, in the new set you would have different power cards that you could use, and they would talk about retiring older figures, so they got into that. So I'm assuming they still do that in the more modern sets, but yeah, I could see that. Like that's probably right around the time he joined WizKids.
Yeah.
Which I think he's out now, right?
He has his own. He had a couple of years now, and now he's got his own company.
He's starting up Play to Z.
He left almost a year ago.
Yeah,
I believe. I mean, you know, fact checkers unite, I guess.
Crowdsource it. We'll crowdsource.
Somebody let us know if we're wrong. Yeah.
Now, Chester, you got in about a year ago, you say?
Yeah, well, no. Picture it, Sicily, 1929.
Here we go.
Oh my God!
There's a story.
That is. I just bought. My wife and I just gave our daughter a whole set of Golden Girls Little Peoples. Chester, that is awesome.
That's funny.
Chester wins the show tonight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, there I was. I was back from university, aka college. You know, in the summer of 2002. You know, and I was, you know, deep into comic books. And so I traversed my way down to my most local comic book store. And I was perusing around, checking out the Marvel comics and the Black Panthers and the Iron Mans and I looked over, and up on this shelf was this game called HeroClix, and it was HeroClix Infinity Challenge. And so, HeroClix been around a long time, you know, deep nerd.
Part of the
This
deep
is a
nerd
family-
culture. Yep, deep nerd culture. I remember doing a
This
lot
is
of
a family
X-Wing and a lot
show.
of 40K, like Warhammer stuff. And there was always the group before us tended to be the WizKids Clicks groups. And man, they had their huge laminated maps. You know, I don't know if everybody would rolling up their laminated maps, getting packing up their games.
Yeah, big nerds.
But it was a deep group. I'm actually surprised, Chester. I will tell you, before you called in today, if someone would have asked me, I would have thought that HeroClix was done, that it was a dead line. I had no clue they were still putting out product
really?
and systems. I had no idea.
Oh, Flint. Oh, no. Nerds unite. No, there's still people they're putting out plastic from China.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the whole HeroClix thing. I grabbed a few. I tried to get my son into them early on.
I never did it, yeah.
But I was more into WizKids had a line for Mech Warrior back then.
Stuff, yeah.
That I still have them in my
yeah,
garage.
yeah.
Those I still have in my garage. I have no HeroClix left, but all my BattleTech, not BattleTech, Mech Warrior was the line that they called it back then from WizKids. I have all those still in the garage. Rob, the awesome part about what WizKids did is the dial underneath each mini.
Yeah.
Each miniature had its own dial.
Yep, I've seen,
Different attributes, and then as you took damage, you spun that dial down, which reduced the different attributes on that unit, that mech, or that hero, depending on what system you're playing. It would reduce his attributes down in certain ways until you got to the skull where it was dead.
I'm really surprised that more games haven't adopted that. Or maybe they copyrighted it or patented it or something. But that just seems. Why aren't more mini games have that?
Yeah, like Gloomhaven does their square box for their baddies.
Yeah.
Where you rotate it to depend on, what type of how many players you're playing against. So it depends on what type of stats that unit has.
Yeah.
A click system on the base.
Yeah.
But that can't be cheap anymore today. Like how much is a starter box of HeroClix today?
Oh, no, it's not cheap. It's not cheap. They're paying, grapes to gorillas, little to nothing for these plastic figures, which, no, you guys are right. The production of these miniatures are fantastic.
Yeah.
Compared to what was released years ago, but that's not without consequence.
Oh yeah, let me share my screen here for you folks at home. I'm on the Noble Knights Games website. Noble Knight is a place that I buy a lot of stuff from. I've been buying from them for decades. Noble Knight does a great job because they also sell a lot of miniature games, war games. DBA is a historical war game I buy. They're one of the few places that I can buy armies for. Anyways, Noble Knight Games has a starter box of 4 minis on here, Robert, for $35.99 plus shipping.
Okay.
That's 4 miniatures.
I could have thought it might be more, though, but okay. Yeah.
Pre-painted.
Yeah.
So that is nice. It's for folks like us, Rob, who don't like painting.
Don't paint.
So here's Superman all painted up, ready to go. And it's a very basic paint job, and then like a dip and a wash is what they tend to do. Has the paint improved? Has the paint quality improved, Chester?
The paint quality really hasn't improved a lot, but the intricacies of the sculpts has improved greatly. And they've upped their miniature scale. I don't know what the particular scale they used was. People, they're Indra miniatures, they speak in millimeters.
Right. So the old original scale back in the day, a game like Warhammer was considered 25 millimeter scale.
All right.
So that was your basic Space Marine. He was maybe an inch tall. But now they have what they call like heroic scale. So most of these Space Marines are coming in now at like 32 millimeters tall. It's like an inch and a half. So they're much taller now.
Oh, yeah.
So it sounds like these have gotten also the scale has improved on the HeroClix as well into a larger, almost 32 or heroic scale.
Oh, yeah. I've been tracking the HeroClix over the years through Sasquatch. That's right, kids. I've been tracking HeroClix through Sasquatch.
I'm not sure what Sasquatch is.
I don't know.
I got a Sasquatch here. You know, he's a little bitty. I got a Sasquatch here. Came out years later. He's a little bit bigger.
Oh, so you
I got
have a certain
here.
a Sasquatch mini?
Oh,
So you can kind of be comparing them to that
gotcha.
one mini? I
know
get
what
it.
You're saying. I know what you're saying. All
Now
right.
I copy.
Yep.
Oh, man. Oh, good gravy. HeroClix's Lashley was Sasquatch.
Would not have known that.
But anyway, I feel like I'm being like a Ron Frazier trying to take over the show.
That's all right.
You know,
Listen, Chester, it was a slow night tonight.
Yeah.
It was a holiday. I expected it to be slow. The fact that Ron called twice,
Yeah.
told me it was going to be a slow night because Ron could even tell.
But we got Chester to call in.
The fact that we got a long-time commenter, someone who commented over the last few, at least a couple of months now.
for sure.
I've seen Chester's name pop up in the comments.
Yeah.
To now actually calling in.
On the phone.
I appreciate that, brother. I do more than you know. I appreciate the comments, folks. Like Pablo42, please don't stop commenting. My buddy Aaron Clark out in Ohio, one of the original callers, please don't stop commenting. But I do love it when folks get off the keyboard,
Come talk to us.
and actually talk to us in person. So I want to tell you, I appreciate you. You are our being out in Tennessee, and we thank you for your call. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, well, Merry Christmas to y'all and Happy New Year. And Ron, God bless you for having to call in twice.
He's right. It's a call-in show, folks.
Anyway.
You know what to do.
Love you guys. Talk to y'all later.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chester.
Don't be a
Good
stranger.
night.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, man.
That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Finally hearing from Chester.
Much appreciated.
Cool.
When he said Chester, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Then he said HeroClix, and I'm like, wait a minute.
That might be.
Wait a minute. I've seen these comments before. Ron, Wayne, I'm out of gifts. That's all I got. Like, I'm done.
Yeah? No, I think I'm
got
good.
nothing else. You got nothing else? Did you get anything else for
No.
Christmas?
Just some.
But you know what, though? I'm
whiskey-related
Puerto
stuff.
Rican, though.
Yeah.
We get two Christmases.
get
Don't you know
to-
that?
Oh, yeah?
King's Day thing.
Right, because
Yeah.
Jesus didn't get his Christmas presents on his birthday. Just so y'all know, he didn't get it. He got them on the 6th of January, right? That's what we know in Puerto Rico as Three Kings Day. So what you got to do is on the night before the 6th of January, you got to get the kids outside, and you go and pick some grass and put the grass in a little shoebox. And you're gonna put that shoebox underneath their bed. And then you're gonna get a little water bowl, fill it with water, because the camels are on their way to see baby Jesus. The wise men are riding their camels on the way to see baby Jesus. So you're going to feed and water the camels.
Feed the camels.
But when you do that, they give you gifts.
Okay.
So my hope is in when we get to not next week's episode, but the week after next, I'll have more holiday
report on.
hauls
Yeah.
for y'all, because I'm going to be out there plucking some grass, putting some water out for the camels in hopes that baby Jesus will give me some more board games.
Okay.
We still have a couple of events where there's some things that maybe got purchased off my wish list that I haven't got yet. So we'll see.
Nice.
And we'll have more for y'all soon.
Yeah. That's just I haven't done my Christmas with either one of my parents yet, so I've got a couple more Christmases coming. So looking forward to that.
Rob will get more gift cards that it'll take him 6 months to decide what to buy.
Hey, Rob.
Absolutely. I got no problem with that.
Join me with the Three Kings Day.
Yeah,
You'd be like,
we'll get on that
listen,
one. Yeah,
tell your
that's
wife, hey, Jamie,
Three Kings
I'm
Day.
officially Puerto Rican
It's a
now. We're
thing.
doing Three Kings Day.
I think I've been called Puerto Rican by a couple different people now, so yeah.
I've had enough rice and beans.
Yeah, there you go.
I can do Three Kings Day.
I can do it.
We've got tomorrow, I think Nick Oben is hosting a game day.
Yeah, he's doing it at the Double Branch Brewery over at the Groves here. Is that Tampa? I guess it's officially like Wesley Chapel.
Wesley Chapel,
Yeah, so we're going to be meeting up over there. I'm going to try to make it over after work tomorrow. They're meeting up. I think it's starting at 3 p.m. He said until basically either everybody leaves or until Double Branch closes down for the night and kicks everybody out. So I know there's at least 4 or 5 people that are heading over there to play. So I'm looking forward to getting some games in tomorrow.
I don't think I have any other announcements.
Yeah, so we're going to get a game day together for January. We'll probably try to do a second Saturday or maybe a second Sunday. I know I need to put some feelers out to see how people feel about Sunday. I've got actually my
If we can coordinate with Nick, I'm not tied to the Saturday of a certain Saturday.
My clubhouse in my community is much more available on Sundays, and so I might be able to host there, which would be kind of nice.
But Sundays, if we're going to do Sundays, we should tie that up with the Tampa Gaming Guild.
Yeah,
so
possibly.
if we do a Sunday for a game day in January,
Yeah.
I would really rather tie that up with the Tampa Gaming Guild.
Okay, we can see.
You folks get to see how the sausage is made here.
Yeah.
Because when I went and visited over there, man, they treated me like a king.
Yeah.
Gave me the full tour, showed me everything. It's a beautiful space. So if we do a Sunday, I say we do it at Tampa Gaming Guild.
Okay.
But let's settle down for a game day in January, either connecting with Nick and his game group or connecting with the Tampa Gaming Guild if we're going to end up doing a Sunday.
Okay.
So that'll be for January. Any other announcements there, Wayne, you got?
No, I'm good.
All right, folks, let's get back to the family time. Wayne, Rob, Happy New Year if I don't see y'all again.
Yeah, same to you.
Same to all
Yeah,
you
you-
folks at home.
You got to make it over here so you get your beer soon, man.
Oh, yeah. And my game. You got my Deliverance.
I do.
He's got my copy of Deliverance. I got to bring your Terraforming Mars. Let me get that off the floor.
Little game swap.
Folks, thank you so much for continuing to pray for us. We pray that God blesses you and your family over this holiday week. We thank you for watching the show and for being callers. We appreciate you much. And we will see you all in the new year. I'm Carlos.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Wayne.
And we're the Beans and Dice Podcast.
Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Bye, buddy.
Happy New Year's, Mike.